Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I'm one of the travel agents with Marvelous Mouse Travels. We are the agency that runs this Facebook group, and we also have several others that are focused on different destinations. We are a You Preferred agency with Universal Parks and Resorts, and we were actually chosen by them as the top travel agency for 2019. And we are really, really excited to be in this group tonight talking to you about such a fun topic. If you have never joined us for one of these live streams before, this is Sundays with MMT, and this is a live agent panel video series that we do in one of our Facebook groups every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And tonight we get to talk to you about our favorite restaurants at Universal Orlando. We also would love the opportunity to interact with you throughout this video. We would love to take your questions. If you have questions about Universal dining or just Universal in general, we want to leave some time at the end of this stream to take your questions. So go ahead at any point while we're sharing information with you to go ahead and drop that question in the comments, and we will get to all of those towards the end of our video. We are using a platform called StreamYard to go live tonight. And so StreamYard might ask you to improve it to show your profile name as well as your picture. Just know that you don't have to approve that permission. You can just decline that and still post your question or your comment anonymously, and we'll still be able to see it and interact with you. But I'm joined tonight by two of our marvelous agents. So ladies, thank you so much for being here tonight. And if you would take just a second to introduce yourselves, tell us how long you've been with the agency and what the best way is for people to get in contact with you if they're interested in planning a vacation.
Hi everyone, I'm Danielle Elliott. I've been with Marvelous Mouse Travel since January 2020, and the best way to contact me is my email, danielle.elliott@marvelousmousetravels.com.
Hey everybody, my name's Jen McGurn, and I've been with Marvelous Mouse Travels since January 2018. And the best way to contact me is at my email address, which is jen.mcgurn@marvelousmousetravels.com.
And again, I'm Ginger. I'm about to celebrate my 3-year anniversary with the agency in less than 2 weeks. I'm a master planner, and the best way to get in contact with me is to visit gingermmt.com, which is my blog, and that will also link you to all of my different social media platforms that I'm active on as well. So, ladies, my clients always want to know my recommendations for dining. And I think, probably part of the reason for that is because there are a lot of options for dining at Universal. And I think that that can probably be a little bit overwhelming for people, especially if they are planning their first trip or maybe their first trip with kids. And they just kind of want to know, what's the best place that I should eat that's going to give me everything that I'm looking for in a restaurant. And so, where I typically answer or start my answer to that question is trying to get a feel for, what do people want? Are they looking for something that's the best bang for their buck? Are they looking for something with a lot of options for pickier eaters? Are they looking for a really unique dining experience? And so what I kind of thought we would do tonight was sort of talk about each of those categories and give what we think are the best restaurants for people who are pickier eaters or for people who are looking for something that's special and unique that you can't really experience anywhere other than Universal Orlando. And we'll kind of hopefully give everybody several options that they can choose from so that they can find the right fit for themselves, no matter what it is that they're looking for most in a restaurant. So we're kind of going to jump through all of those categories tonight. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's start by talking about restaurants that are great for young kids, because when most people are planning a Universal Orlando vacation, they obviously have their kids in mind. So in your opinion, which restaurants do you recommend for families with young children?
One of my favorite stops is in Seuss Landing, and that would be Circus McGurkus.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fun. You go in there and it looks like you are in a Dr. Seuss like carnival. Some of the booths are train cars. There's so much happening to look at. And then the food is really good and really simple for kids. It's nothing too out of the box. You can get fried chicken. I really like it there. And I think younger kids have a great time when they go there.
Yes, I absolutely love that restaurant. It is so cute in there. We did the Universal Holiday Tour back in November, and one of the stops on the holiday tour was a cookie tasting and a meet and
Mhm.
greet with the Grinch at Circus McGurkus. And I spent honestly more time just looking around at the restaurant than I did watching the Grinch or anything like that. Like it was just so cool to see the, little trolley come through and everything too. It was really, really cute.
I'm probably going to have to go with Toothsome on this one. I think that when a lot of people think of Toothsome, well, if folks don't know, Toothsome is um, kind of it's a chocolate factory
Mhm.
themed restaurant, I guess you would say. And so the desserts there are kind of what people think of initially, but the food is actually delicious as well. They have some really great entrees, some great appetizers, some great pasta dishes, salads. So there's really something for everyone. And then, of course, you saw the pictures of those delicious over the top milkshakes. And that is a huge draw for kids and adults alike.
I totally agree. My kids love Toothsome. It's one of their favorite places to eat. I would even throw, some of the little stands or little more like walk up counter service places in
Mhm.
there too. Like you have, speaking of Dr. Seuss, you have green eggs and ham, and that
Mhm.
one has like the tots that you can order. You can also have places like Pizza Predatoria over in Jurassic World and everything. So there's just something pretty much for everybody. If you're looking for something with kids, obviously it's a theme park, so
Yeah.
every place that you're going to go to is going to have, something for kids in mind. I
My
don't
kids, oh my gosh, they love Mel's Diner. Mel's Diner is, and if you're talking about picky eaters, you're definitely going in there to get your burgers and your
Mhm.
chicken fingers, but they also have the best milkshakes that are part of the combos, which I think is the main driving force behind having to go to Mel's every single
Yeah.
time. But it's a very 50s themed diner. It's super fun. So the kids really like it there too.
It is. And Jen and I were we were on a podcast together where we were talking about the universal dining plans, which if you haven't checked out Marvelous Mouse Travels podcast, definitely check it out. It's Marvelous Mouse Talk. You can find it anywhere that you listen to podcasts. But we were talking about the dining plan and what are some of the best ways to get the best bang for your buck with the dining plan. And Jen brought up the fact that Mel's is a fantastic use of your quick service dining plan credit because it does have that milkshake included with the meal. So it's just a fantastic place to maximize that dining plan for sure, especially with
Yeah, and
kids.
I did wanna mention in the picture that we showed, that was pre-COVID.
Mhm.
You see a lot of people gathered outside the restaurant, and they're not wearing masks. That is an older picture.
Yes, absolutely. We are still masking in the
We
parks
are
as of
still
this
masking.
moment. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's move on to a completely opposite category from what we just talked about. What are some restaurants that you recommend for adults only vacations? People who don't have kiddos tagging along.
I think cowfish is a great option. The and I'm gonna butcher the name. The cheeseburger rushi. It's a mix between it's a cross between a cheeseburger and sushi. And I think that it's just a really fun concept. It's a really fun, date night concept.
Mhm.
A group of just adults getting together, girls' night. And I just think the food there is just fantastic and really unique.
I agree.
I would recommend Biche. Biche is at the resorts that you can find at Portofino, and it's a really nice romantic. It's Italian themed, but it's very upscale Italian, and the views are beautiful. And that's a really nice kind of, away from the crowds. You don't have to be staying there to eat there. So I always recommend that to my couple clients, even if they're not staying there.
Yeah. That's such a romantic resort just across the
Mhm.
board too. Like, I think that would be a beautiful resort for a honeymoon or maybe an anniversary trip or something like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
I would probably toss Finnegan's in there. Finnegan's is in Universal Studios. It's a bar and grill, and it also is in like kind of the New York section. And so you just feel like you're walking into, a little Restaurant in New York, and it's a lot of fun. They have a lot of really good menu options there that are awesome for, I think, when you've got adults with you. Anything else that you guys
Well,
think
don't
is I can't
if you're
miss?
gonna go to Finnegan's, make sure you get a Marvelous Mule.
Oh, that's right.
That's our drink, named for Marvelous Mouse Travels that you can only get at Finnegan's.
That's true. That is true.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's move on to value. We've already talked about Mel's being such a great option if you're on the dining plan. But what restaurants do you all recommend for those who are looking for kind of the most bang for their buck, whether that's table service or quick service?
So, while they're not currently going on right now, I know we're all really eager for their eventual return. The character meals. So whether you're talking about the Despicable Me character breakfast or the Marvel character dinner, I think that the fact that they're buffets, at least I know that the Despicable Me is a buffet, and you have the characters there, so you're kind of killing two birds with one stone in terms of getting a chance to eat, and you're also seeing the characters, so then you have more time to explore the parks.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And I really enjoy both of the Harry Potter restaurants, the Three Broomsticks and the
Hmm.
Leaky Cauldron. And I mean, the portions are huge. I
They are.
went in the last time I was there, I had soup and a baked potato, and it was huge. But my son had the turkey leg meal. And I mean, and he's 17 and he's a big eater. And I don't even think he finished that turkey leg. I mean, it's a ton of
It's
food, and
huge.
you could so easily split that, among one or two. I mean, like the two kids or even adults if it's just your lunch. And,
Yeah.
I think that's a really good value. And if you're on the dining plan, that makes it even a better value.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. We love those too. My husband always gets the fish and chips, and that's his favorite. Like whenever we go to Universal, we have to go and we have to get fish and chips. I really like their beef pasties that they have at Three
Mhm.
Broomsticks. It's not a ton of food, so if you are looking for something that is a little bit smaller portion, it's three kind of smaller pasties, but it comes with a really big salad. So like it's a nice, refreshing meal, and I really enjoy it. It definitely ties you over. And they also have, you'll help me remember the name of it. Is it called just the Feast for Four or a Family Feast or something like that? They
Oh,
have,
Yeah.
yeah, they have those big platters that they say four people can split. I really think you could probably stretch it a little bit
yeah.
further than four people, but it works out to be about, $15 a person, max. If it could be less than that if you're splitting it amongst others.
And I have to say, I mean, I don't ever go to any of the restaurants in Universal and feel like I'm being robbed blind. I mean,
Right.
you're you're getting big portions. My son and I love NBC Sports Bar and
Mhm.
Grill. He ordered a platter that was like all of the meats, and it was so much food. And it really, I mean, it wasn't an outrageous price. And the other one is, even though it's a chain, I recommend. I happen to like it. I might be in the minority, but we love Bubba Gumps.
Mhm.
And I don't like, I've been to Bubba Gumps in New York City, was not a big fan, but I like Bubba Gumps at Universal. We really enjoyed it there.
Mhm.
And the service was amazing. And again, I felt like it was a pretty decent value for, traveling and
Yeah,
eating out, when that can get pricey.
absolutely. So let's talk about theming. Let's talk about those kind of unique dining or dining experiences you can only have at Universal. Which restaurants do you think have the best overall theming?
Well, Toothsome. I mean,
Yeah.
Toothsome and the funny thing about Toothsome is that could be our answer for every single
It
question.
could.
I mean,
Yeah.
So
Toothsome
true.
really, it really does cover the gamut. But there's nothing like it. I mean, it's a steampunk chocolate factory. There's a robot walking
Yep.
around. I mean, and which makes it great for kids.
Mhm.
And it's a little darker in there, so that makes it greater for makes it good for adults. I
Mhm.
mean, it really covers everything we've discussed.
Mhm.
But I love the theming. It's so
Me
fun.
too.
And the last time we were there, my daughter was joking as we were walking through City Walk that you can point out everybody who's coming or going from work because their uniforms are so unique.
Yep.
So as you see people walking through City Walk, you're like, wonder where they work.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
exactly.
And the team members there just add so much to the atmosphere, and I love just seeing how they add to your meal and your overall experience.
Mhm.
I was going to talk about, oh my gosh, and now I'm blanking. Um, Mythos.
Yes.
Mm.
There we go.
Yep.
I love Mythos
Yes.
because I think that it sometimes is a little bit forgotten about, despite the fact that it was, you can see there on the screen that it was awarded the world's best theme park restaurant by Theme Park Insider. And the views inside of it are spectacular
Beautiful.
if you get one of those seats. And just it's just the cavernous atmosphere is incredible and
Mhm.
breathtaking. And I mean, then you
Yeah.
have the food, which is sort of that Mediterranean style with, some other dishes thrown in there.
Mhm.
And it's an awesome atmosphere.
Yeah, I love that one too. And if you've never eaten there, you really do feel like you're in like a cavern. It's just so intensely themed, but it's beautiful in there, but it's not just about the theme because the food is very, very good. And like you said, the views there are beautiful as well. And this is I can't remember the name of it, but it was a lamb burger. It had lamb in it. And my husband ordered that. It's like their signature burger, and it has this really good aioli on top of it. And they are known for that. They're known for their fork and spoon, I think is what or maybe it's knife and I don't remember, but it's essentially a big grilled cheese sandwich, but it's a big grilled cheese sandwich that you can't pick up. You got to eat it with your utensils. But I would say for theming too, I would have to throw the Harry Potter restaurants in there
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Because if you are a Harry Potter fan, you do, especially Three Broomsticks, you feel like you are in the Harry Potter world, like you have stepped into the wizarding world. Everything is themed down to the fact that they don't serve sodas in those restaurants
Yeah.
because there is no soda in the wizarding world. So you're going to get lemonade or tea or pumpkin juice or butterbeer or something like that, or gilly water. You're not going to find branded things. You're also going to have, kind of that British inspired, the cast member, not cast members, team members there are in the wizarding world. So if you ask them, questions about things out in the Muggle world, they might act a little confused, because they're just very much on point with the theming and their acting and everything like that too. So I love those restaurants, and would
Yeah.
definitely put them on my
I
list.
I really love Antohitos.
Hmm.
Um, they have great theming. I
They
mean,
do.
all the way down to they have a mariachi that comes out during your
Mhm.
meal. So
Yep.
there's tableside guac, there's a mariachi band going on. The food is very authentic.
Hmm.
I loved it. And that's another one that I think is fun for families, but it's
Hmm.
also, I mean, we had very, very delicious margaritas there. So it's also a good adults only
Yeah.
Yeah. And
dinner to
that's a great
have.
one to mention too. It's Cinco de Mayo coming up if anyone's
Yeah.
So,
headed there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
but
would be
it's
great.
beautiful in there with all the colors, and I
Mm.
love it.
Yeah. That's a great choice. So, speaking of food, we've talked about theme, we've talked about value, we've talked about, things like that. Which restaurant would you pick as having just the best food, like the best tasting food?
Toothsome.
I say to some too, but I'm going to preface that by saying that I think it really depends on what you're in the mood for. Because I think that Universal has so many different cuisines, so many different choices for everyone. And there are so many restaurants that it's very easy to get overwhelmed. And I think that that's,
Yeah.
one of the many reasons, why a travel agent is so invaluable is because we know these restaurants, we know
Mhm.
what's on the menu, we've tasted the food. So, if there's a particular cuisine that you're looking for
Mhm.
or, something that your kids like or what have you, we'll be able to point you in the right direction in terms of where to find that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I would say toothsome, but then I'd have to ask, does Voodoo count as a restaurant with the best
Oh,
tasting food?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that's a really good place to eat too.
Yes, it is. It's awesome.
I always say it's not a trip to Universal if you haven't had a Voodoo donut.
Right? I know, right? It's kinda like I don't know, it's in the contract, right? When you
Yeah.
book the
Right.
like, "I will eat here at some
Yes.
point." So,
You got to have a
yeah.
pink box at some point. Yeah.
Danielle, do you agree? Is toothsome your overall favorite too?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so. I think they took away my favorite menu item, but it's okay.
What was it?
That's
It
right.
was the chicken with the gnocchi and the mole cream sauce and
Oh, yeah, I don't remember seeing that one on the
yeah.
menu last
Yeah.
time I was there.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I think people are surprised when, I mean, I know I was the first time when you go there and it says it's a chocolate emporium.
Mhm,
And one of my favorite things to order there is roasted Brussels sprouts as an appetizer. It's
mhm.
outstanding.
Yeah,
And then there's a seafood pasta dish that is so good. I mean, you could go and not have a bite of chocolate and still have an
yeah.
amazing meal. I don't know why you would do that, but you can go and not eat chocolate.
And they also have an incredibly extensive appetizers menu. So if you wanna go and just order appetizers and dessert, you totally can. I mean, you're gonna have plenty of options.
And they
Yeah.
have brunch 24/7.
Mhm.
That is outstanding. My daughter gets the s'mores French toast, and it's what she orders every time. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is, doesn't matter what day of the week it is. If you want brunch, you can get brunch at Toothsome.
Nice. I have not tried the
I didn't
s'mores French
either.
Ooh.
toast. Yeah.
We tried to do it at home and it was not even close.
Never as
It was
Oh,
one of
man.
those Pinterest fails, not quite the same as having it at Toothsome.
Hey, it's the effort that counts, right?
That's right, we tried.
Just
Paid for
makes it
effort.
all the sweeter when you, go back and get to
Yeah.
have the real thing, right?
Exactly.
So, I think I know what Jen's answer to this last question is gonna be, but what is your overall favorite restaurant at Universal?
Oh my. I mean, it's Toothsome. It's not a big
Yeah.
surprise, but there are, I mean, I really do try to try other things when I'm there, and like I said, we just did Antohitos in February for the first time, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I would go back there. I just don't know that I would sacrifice a toothsome meal to go but yeah, that's my
I really
favorite.
like Mythos.
Mythos
Yeah.
is a lot of fun too. Honestly, I love Toothsome. I love Mythos. We're going to Universal in just a couple weeks actually for our family vacation for the year. We've got a reservation, booked at Toothsome. We've got one booked at Antohitos. There's places that I eat and that I enjoy going to. But if there is a restaurant that I feel like I haven't been to Universal, if I haven't eaten there, I honestly think it's Three Broomsticks. And I think, I do like the food, but I think it's just more that I love where that restaurant is. I love the theme, and I feel like when we eat there, I have been to Universal, like I've done at least part of what I intended to do. Um,
Mhm.
Also too, I didn't put this in like the pre-prepared questions or anything, but I mean, I think you guys can probably handle this one on the fly. Do you have a favorite snack at Universal? And if so, where can we find your favorite snack?
Okay, that one's super easy for me.
Mhm,
They have this incredible soft pretzel right outside of the Monsters Cafe.
mhm,
It's in a stand with like slushies, and it's a cinnamon sugar soft pretzel, and then
Mhm.
they give you a cream cheese dip and a chocolate dip.
that
It
sounds awesome.
is so good. It's my favorite
That
snack at
sounds
Universal.
Yeah,
delicious.
and that's a snack credit on the dining plan too, right?
Oh, it's yes.
Yeah,
Every time.
yeah.
Yes.
So again, another fantastic use of a dining plan credit
Yeah.
right there. Yeah. Danielle, do you have a favorite snack?
So this isn't really it isn't it's a snack-ish,
Mhm.
but it really could be a meal.
Okay.
There's a kiosk in the Wizarding World that has jacket potatoes with
Ooh.
different fillings.
I have never tried
Yeah.
that.
And
Huh.
I've heard that they're huge and you could easily make a meal out of
Yeah.
them. So you could
That
split
Yeah.
it with
sounds
someone.
good.
But
Well, there you go. So my favorite snack is at the Crepe stand, which is near it's near Central Park in Universal Studios, and it is the lemon blueberry crepe, and it has like lemon cream with like mascarpone cheese, and it has lemon sponge cake and fresh blueberries and whipped cream. It's just indulgent, but it's so good.
It
It's
sounds
so good.
refreshing though. Like it
It,
doesn't sound heavy.
it's not
That
sickly
sounds
sweet.
yum.
Oh,
It's just that nice kind of citrusy balance to it, but it's phenomenal. I mean, it's like it's so good. I can't really explain how good it is. Like you honestly just have to try it. But they have savory crepes at that crepe stand too. So if you're looking for like an on the go, obviously you can't walk around and eat right now because you have to have, your mask on. But if you want something that is portable and you can, walk to the nearest place to sit down and take your mask off and eat, then that's a great choice as well, without having to actually go in and make a reservation. You can just grab something and enjoy that too. Yeah.
I might have to try that next time.
Yes, it's super good, super good. So I think that is everything that we had to share with you. Let's take a look at our comments or see if we have any questions over here before we wrap it up for the night. We love Toothsome. Yes. Well, welcome to the club. We love Toothsome too. Jen is our club captain. She is captain of the Toothsome Club, fan club. Dr. Seuss Landing is so cute. Such a cute area too. Definitely try that one. You could spend all day. Me too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure.
See, we didn't even talk about Butterbeer.
We didn't.
Oh, I know.
No. Another fantastic use of
I get mine as ice.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
It was a little delayed. I said I get mine as ice cream. I don't do any of the drinks. They're too sweet for me, but I love the ice cream swirl.
Well, that's a good idea too. Yeah. I like the frozen butterbeer personally. That's my favorite one.
I'm team hot, so.
Yeah. All right. What about the Bob Marley Restaurant? Oh, that's a great question. Now, I personally have not eaten at this one. Have any of you guys?
I have not, but I've heard really good things about it, and like that the theming is really authentic. If you're a Bob Marley fan, it's definitely a place you're going to want to check out.
Yeah. And that one is located in City Walk. So it will be a place that you could eat even if you don't have a park ticket for the day. Like maybe on the day that you're arriving, or the day that you're leaving, and maybe you're not going into a park, you can still, go over to City Walk and enjoy that one. Speaking of which, Toothsome, also a couple of the ones that we've talked about, really of all the ones that we talked about, Toothsome is not in the theme parks. It's in City Walk. Cowfish is in City Walk. Antohitos is in City Walk as well. So is Voodoo Donuts. So you have a lot of really good options, even outside the theme parks, to eat at if you want to try those. Let's see here. All right. Well, I think that's all of the questions that we have. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight for Sundays with MMT. We had, as you can tell, a lot of fun talking about universal dining. There's so many great restaurants to try. Really, so many that, like we said, there's even a couple that as many times as we've been to Universal, we haven't even tried all of them yet. So you're definitely not going to get stuck in a rut in terms of restaurants at Universal. You're always going to have new things to try. Even at some of those favorite restaurants, they're always, experimenting with their menu and giving you new and great things to test out and try. So if you'd like to get some information about planning a trip to Universal Orlando, feel free to reach out to any of the agents that you heard from tonight. You can find their contact information back at the beginning of the video. If you joined us a little bit late, you can, definitely reach out. Just keep in mind that it is completely free to book your trip through a travel agent. You're not going to pay any more to book through Marvelous Mouse Travels than you would to book that trip directly on Universal's website yourself. And yet you're going to get the added benefit at no extra cost of people who know the parks, who can walk you through, the planning process, give you personalized recommendations, keep an eye out for discounts, and basically just help you, relax and don't worry about anything but just enjoying your trip. So next week, we are actually going to be in our Disney World group at 8 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be giving an overview of the on-site value resort hotels. And in 2 weeks, we're going to be over in our all-inclusive group, and we're going to be giving an overview of Palace Resort. Several of our agents have been doing some kind of exploratory trips to Palace Resorts and learning more and more about them. So we're really excited to hear everything that they have to share with us. If you're planning an all-inclusive vacation, definitely feel free to check that out. But again, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you again next week at 8 p.m. Eastern for another episode of Sundays with MMT. Bye, everybody.